Hello everyone, I'm MVL, and in this video we're going to be unboxing the Evercade XP. We're going to be opening it up and taking a look at it, and taking a look at captured gameplay footage as well. So without any further ado, let's take a look. Alright, so here we have the Evercade XP. For those that don't know, the Evercade experience is predominantly retro, fully licensed, cartridge-based hardware. This XP is a newer version of their previous handheld, but it can also be played on TV as well via HDMI. It has 18 built-in Capcom games, and it also comes with an Irem Arcade Collection cartridge as well, packed in. And we'll be looking at some gameplay footage of those games included in this video as well. Now I am a little late to the party in getting the XP, and that's because I was holding out for a physical cartridge for the Capcom collection, but unfortunately, at least at the time of this video, the Capcom licensing for Evercade seems to have expired, with the revised version of the XP, the EXP-R, which replaces this, not having the Capcom games included, and it actually doesn't have HDMI out as well, but it is a little bit cheaper. That spurred me to get this model, which does have the HDMI output and the Capcom games included, so that was my motivation to pick this up. Looking at the system here, you have a D-pad and an A and a B button on the left for if you're playing in vertical orientation. Horizontally, you have a diamond of A, B, X and Y, and a home and start and select button on the right. On the bottom, you have the mode button to switch to vertical orientation. There's the headphone output and the USB power input, as well as the volume controls there as well. On the back you have the cartridge slot and a speaker for handheld use, and on the top you have the power button and video output. And you have two sets of shoulder buttons. The previous Evercade handheld only had one set of shoulder buttons, and two makes it a lot better to play things like PlayStation games, for example. As you can see, the power button is easily pressed. I'll actually be showing the gameplay footage in this video captured through the video output, so stay tuned for that. Also inside the box you get a USB cable to power the system, but you do not get a power plug. Now this has become more common in electric devices, and that's because I think most people have something they can plug a USB into, and it helps keep costs down for the product. You also don't get a HDMI cable, which would have been nice because the port on this device is a mini HDMI, and that's a little more uncommon than a full-size HDMI, so that would have been nice. But what is nice is that you do get a manual for the Capcom collection, even though it's not a physical cartridge, but all of the other Evercade cartridges that have come out do have full color manuals, and the manuals for the Evercade cartridges do look great. The presentation is always on point. Now we're looking at the Irem Arcade Collection 1, which is the pack-in cartridge included, and this is an arcade collection, so the packaging is purple. You also get home console collections, which are packaged in red, and you get computer collections, which are blue. The spine of the cases are also numbered, so you can keep track of your collection really easily. Like I mentioned, the presentation is really nice, and you get a very much retro aesthetic with this. And these cases kind of remind me of Mega Drive cases, and they do look very cool, housing the physical cartridge, color booklet, and sometimes other inserts as well. Now on the subject of cartridges, one thing I feel I should mention that probably won't be an issue for the majority of users is that if you have some of the older Evercade cartridges, we're talking the initial print run from around 4 years ago at this time, they may be a little tighter to get in the system than others because they were a tiny bit thicker, but they fixed that later on. As you can see with the new cartridge, I had no problem whatsoever getting that into the system, and comparing it to my original Founders Limited Edition Black Evercade, the main difference is that second set of shoulder buttons to play more modern games. And speaking of games, let's go ahead and take a look at some gameplay footage. The Capcom collection has 18 games, including the following arcade games: 1942, 1943, 1944 The Loop Master, Bionic Commando, Captain Commando, Commando, Final Fight, Forgotten Worlds, Ghouls and Ghosts, Legendary Wings, Mercs, Street Fighter II Hyper Fighting, Strider, and Vulgus. It also includes the NES versions of Mega Man and Mega Man 2, and the SNES versions of Breath of Fire and Mega Man X. All these games are built into the Evercade XP, and I'm capturing the footage through the HDMI output. If you are playing handheld, some of these games also support Tate mode, as in vertical orientation, so you can take advantage of that. It's a shame as of the making of this video that this collection wasn't released in cartridge form, but several of these games were included inbuilt on the Hyper Megatech Capcom Super Pocket. The Super Pocket is a cheaper Game Boy stylized version of the Evercade that also supports cartridges, but doesn't have HDMI output. The Capcom collection on the Evercade XP is a great selection of fun, classic games from a variety of genres. And whichever way you play these games, it's a good time because these games are fantastic. That's the Capcom collection. The Irem Arcade Collection 1 has 6 games, including 10-Yard Fight, Battle Chopper, In the Hunt, Lightning Swords, Moon Patrol, and R-Type. For full disclosure here, I'm actually playing and capturing footage of the game you're seeing right now on my Evercade Versus instead of the Evercade XP, since the console version is my preferred way to play. With that said, the pack-in cartridge also features some heavy-hitting games, albeit 6 compared to the inbuilt 18. I think it has to be said that I believe R-Type, as probably the most recognizably popular title in this collection, is intended to do the heavy lifting in selling this particular collection to consumers. After all, it is the most heavily featured game on this cart's packaging. But even if you did only grab this cartridge to get your hands on R-Type, with the Evercade cartridges being so affordable, you'll definitely get some bang for your buck regardless. I think all 6 games included here are classics and are incredibly enjoyable, and this cartridge is a hit with me for sure. And there you have it. That was my unboxing of the Evercade XP. If you like the video, be sure to leave a like or a comment to let me know what you think. And don't forget to subscribe for more awesome content. And if you'd like to, you can also support me through Patreon or YouTube channel membership. Thank you for watching. I've been MVL, and I will catch you next time.